brought north, south, east, and west after they got the job done right in inner Africa. This happened millions of years ago, and millions of years later, in other land masses and islands, Africans went, changed pigmentation. This now comprises our planet Earth. So what we're looking at and what we're attempting to do is to recreate, restructure, and restore African knowledge and dignity. And to do this, I would like to end with, again, our brother Bob Marley, when he says, through the mystics of tomorrow, have no fear or sorrow. The fight against the Rasta man is a world of confusion. It's a world of confusion in order to force the devil's illusion. But the very stone that their builder refused shall be our head cornerstone. Because we've got something they can never take away. And that's the fire that's burning down everything. It's burning down everything, and we must feel the fire. Because only the birds have their wings. This is no time to be deceived. Won't you help to sing our redemption song? Because we refused to be what they wanted us to be. We are what we are, and that's the way it's gonna be. Because if you don't know, you can't educate us for no equal opportunity. Because we're talking about my freedom, our people's freedom and liberty. Shemem Hotep, my brothers and sisters. Amun is satisfied.
That was a really good speech. That was just introduction to today's live, which is people like it, I like it. I just wanted to do a quick video, just saying that I've traced my ancestors' roots, and the roots of my ancestors are Somaliland, Saudi Arabia, the Levant, and Turkey. I have like a strong feeling that my ancestors were, they went around the region of I feel like they were into lands. I feel they were in Africa as well as the Middle East. I have a strong, but the thing is, my ancestors were kicked out of the Middle East. There was a religious battle and they kicked us out. But, I feel like a strong connection, to Saudi Arabia. I feel like that's the territory of my people. My people, for those who don't know, are the tribe of Judah. And I feel that the tribe of Judah is very much in Saudi Arabia, Gaza, that part of the world. And we also had a connection at Cappadocia, which was Turkey at the time, as well as Egypt and I would say about South Sudan, that kind of thing, as well as Ethiopia. So, and I also feel connected to those regions, I have a very strong connection. I know that the capital city of, the city of Mecca, which is now like a religious Muslim territory, was originally Christian territory. I know that for a fact. There's a strong connection of my people in Mecca. Either that was our territory before it got took over, but I just I have a very strong connection to that region. I know that Mecca, you know, was the land of the Ammonites. The Ammonites are Canaanite people, which are, the owners of the land. And, there's historical knowledge that Jesus went to Mecca, when he used to travel, because those regions of Saudi Arabia, was a greater Israel. Like, this is where, you know, our borders were huge then. So therefore, we would roam huge places of land. Um, Even Syria was part of our territory. I have a strong connection with Iraq, Syria, those regions. Like, it was a big border, and the people that you see now in the Middle East are not the original people. And they've created this big fantasy lie that the black people that are present in Turkey and Syria and Palestine were remnants of the slave trade. That's bullshit. That is absolute bullshit. Like, they've managed to convince themselves that the black people that are actually in the Middle East, like places like Oman, and are all, remnants of the slave. Absolute bullshit. The original people of the Middle East were black people. The Middle East was part of Africa. The Middle East was taken over by the Romans and the Persians. It belongs, these people, those regions. Kadesh is where we originate from. Like, it was our territory, but there was a humongous battle. Like, I feel like there was a humongous different times, like times of like this, like these people, the Amarna letters, like, it was written like, these are my people. Like, I've read it. I've read the battle, because the kings of that region, the Amarna people, are my tribe, and they had close connection with the Egyptian kings. There's letters here talking about, how they were losing their land, and very, very intimate letters. And I just like connected with it. I just feel like, oh my God, like, why do I feel like this is about my people? Like, because we were on both sides. Like, we're people of both sides. We didn't just like, because it was Africa. Like, when we were in the Middle East, that region was Africa. Like, that, we were the first people to leave Africa. We established there. So, like, and it's also an African tectonic plate. So when I talk about these regions, I mean, so this is a map. So this great book has like a description of the ancient world, and as you can see, it was all the way up to the Black Sea. Like, we had like huge territories where we would, go places, and it was all our land, and we weren't just like shut off in Africa. Like, no, like, these are our ancient its ancestral lands, right from Lebanon, like right from Cyprus, right, Aleppo, like, see, Assyria, Nineveh, those where our people could roam. Um, and the Akkadians, Baghdad, the Tigris River, Euphrates, Babylon, Ur, Sumer, Elam. These are like our historic territories that belong to us. Um, right up to the Black Sea. Like, my people were going all the way up there. Obviously now, we've been completely shut out of these lands, by the invaders, and we had to seek refuge back to our motherland, which is, that region, not even Egypt, because we got kicked out of Egypt, but like deep in the source of the Nile. But a long time ago, we had large territories. We had, such large territories, and I just think it's really interesting. Um, we had like because of the same lineage, we were brothers. So if you read the Amarna letters, it's like communication between Ramesses and his brothers that were running my ancestors in the Middle East. And I'll just give you an example of, what was happening. The Oman letters, like, I'll just read you it. It just seems too familiar, because the Hittites, they were taken over, and it just talks about how they were, losing that those territories, and how we had to go back into Africa, because brotherly quarrel. Okay, so it's all like administration and stuff, but yeah, there is like so much information about this, and I'll give you like um, okay, men from Maluha. So he talks about that. Say to the magnate, message to Rib Hadar, I fall at your feet. May Aman and the Lady Gubla, that's the female goddess that they all used to worship around the world. The whole world used to worship the fat black lady. And establish your honor in the presence of your king, your lord. To your writing me, the king of Mitanni visited the land of Amharu, the land of Amhara. So that's my tribe. And he said, how great is this land? Your land is extensive. May the king of Egypt send me his commissioner, that he may take it from him. Moreover, come yourself with all speed and take everything, then return to get the archers later on. Moreover, get 200 men of Melhuha. Abdi Asrati is very ill. Who knows when he dies what? It's like treachery everywhere. So this is like, all the backstabbing and political issues that was going on. He says, young blood Amarna. Wow. Rib Hadar writes to the king of all countries, the king his lord of his God. I fall at the feet of my lord 7 times and 7 times. Why has my lord not heeded the word of his servant? My lord should know that there is no evil in the words of his servant. I did not speak any treacherous words to the king, my lord. The king, my lord, has examined the word, and he's heard his words. I said to the king, my lord, send archers to take Abdi Asrata. Who would advise? He would resist successfully the archers of the king, my lord. Treacherous men say treacherous things to the king, my lord, archers. He has brought them water. He is the one who's given them provisions. Since I'm the one who's checked the apparel, there are hostilities against me. He is the one who has given them provisions, and so may the king give them to his servant. Okay, so everything is all about like, defending their territory from people. Then it talks about losses from Byblos to Ugarit, so like when they lost Turkey. So I was talking about, Turkey being the original land, and like how Abraham was buried there, and Cappadocia, like things like that. We have a lot of our people there. Losses from Byblos to Ugarit. Say to Yan Hamu, message of Yapahada, why have you been neglectful of Sumer, so that all the lands from Gubla to Ugarit have become enemies in service of Aziru? Sagata, Ampi are enemies. He has now stationed ships of Arwada, Ampi, and Sagata, so grain cannot be brought into Sumer, nor are we able to enter Sumer. And so what can we ourselves do? Write to the palace about this matter. It is good that you're informed. So that's like, let's have a look. So like there's definitely a lot of instability. The death of Abdi Asrita. If you looked at the letters before, they were saying he is very ill and he might die. So now somebody wrote about it. Moreover, why is there war against the king? Is it not higher? Now the ships of the army are not to enter the land of Amru, for they have killed Abdi Asirta, since they had no wool and had no garments of lapis lazuli. They absolutely love that stone. I think it's the blue one. Um, of Marstone, Bubumar, to give us tribute to the land of Miptana. Moreover, whose ships have attacked me? Is it not the men of Arwada? Indeed, they are now with you. Seize the ships of the men of Arwada that are with you in Egypt. Moreover, though, Haya says, if we do not give it to the land of Amuru, if we do not give it to the land of Amuru, then the men of Tyre, which is Beirut, they were Canaanites, and the men of Sidon and the men of Beirut will finish it. To whom do these cities belong? Is it not to the king? Put a man in each city, let him now not allow a ship from the land of Amuru to enter, for they have killed Abdi Asrita. It was the king that placed him over them, not they. Let the king tell the 3 cities and the ships of the army not to go to the land of Amuru. If a servant sees a bow, let him give it to you. So like there was a lot of activity, a lot of change, a lot of battle. And this book explains the Amarna letters as like, very, very personal letters between the Pharaoh and the kings of the Middle East, the Hamitic kings of the Middle East. Hamitic Semitic kings, basically. Yeah, so this is when there was a lot of like uncertainty and takeover of the. To the king, my lord, my son, message to Ribhada, your servant, I fall at the feet of my lord, my son, 7 times, 7 times. May the king, my lord, heed the words of his loyal servant. My situation is very difficult. The war of the sons of Abdi Asriti against me is severe. They have occupied the land of Amuru, and the entire country is theirs. Sumer Erkata remain to the magnate. I have now been in Sumer because the magnate is difficulty due to the war. I left Kubla, but Zimrada and Hapahada were not with me. So the magnate keeps writing to them, but they pay no attention to him. May the king, my lord, heed the words of his loyal servant. Send an auxiliary force with all speed to Sumer in order to guard it until the arrival of the archers of the king, the sun. Now the archers were the Nubians, then they were the best fighters, the black, tall Nubians with their gold archers, like they were the fighting machine of the ancient world. And the Canaanite people of the Middle East were asking for the Nubian archers to sort these invaders out, but for some reason he wasn't getting the Pharaoh. I think maybe Ramses II wasn't getting information, but these people were under attack in the Middle East, and they were begging for the Pharaoh of Egypt's help. And the only way to defeat the invaders was to get the Nubian archers. Okay, but again, like the ancient world, they know that the Nubian archers are known worldwide. They were rich, they had loads of gold, because they're such a big fighting machine. They were powerful fighters. But because of racist white supremacy, they like to, talk about the Nubians as if like they're slaves and all this nonsense just because of their race. But in the ancient world, the people in power were black people in the Middle East. So they have nothing against the Nubians because they're from the same. They're Africans. They're all black. So and they clearly were badass fighters. So none of this nonsense white supremacy. But you can clearly see when they were losing control of the Middle East by the extreme attack from the Northerners, and he's like the king of what was the area, Gubla, and those regions, Sumer, were desperate for help, like from the pharaoh. Yeah. As the entire garrison has fled from Sumer, may it seem right in the sight of the Lord, the Son of all countries, and give me 20 pairs of horses. Send an auxiliary force with all speed to Sumer in order to guard it. Whatever is left of the garrison in difficulty, and a few people are still in the city, if you do not send archers, then there will not be a city remaining to you. And this city, was like, a colony of ancient Egypt at the time, right? But if the archers are on hand, we will take all the lands for the king. So they needed the mighty strength of the pharaohs of Egypt to sustain themselves, and they were asking for backup and men and all sorts. And then it goes on the next page to say how Ulasa, a region called Ulasa, was taken. Now, if we look at it on the map, where was Ulasa? We're talking about how the slow takeover of the Middle East from black people to foreigners from the north happened. That's about it. I found the map. The map is here. Ulasa. Mari. So that's another area where my people are from. Okay. Say to the king, my lord, my son. Yes, who says this 7 times? Know that Pubala. May the king, my lord, know that Pubala, the son of Abdi Asrata, has occupied Ulasa. Theirs are Ardata, Wahalia, and Pisagata. All the cities are theirs. So may the king send an auxiliary force to Sumer until the king gives thought to his land. Who are the sons of Abdi Asrat, the servant and dog? Are they the king of Kasu or the king of Mitanni, that they take the land of the king for themselves? Previously, they would take cities of your mayors, and you did nothing. Now they have driven out your commissioner and have taken the cities for themselves. They have taken Ulasa. If in these circumstances you do nothing, then they are certainly going to take Sumer and kill the commissioner and the auxiliary force in Sumer. What am I to do? I can't go personally to Sumer. The cities of Ampi, Sagata, Ulasa, Erwada are at war with me. Should they hear that I was entering Sumer, they would be these cities with ships, and the sons of Abdi Asriti in the countryside. They would attack me, and I would be able to go out, and Kubla would be joined to Apiro. They have gone to Iberta and an agreement has been made with Apiro. Sumer under siege. So this is when exactly how he predicted that, you need to come and help me, otherwise you're losing Sumer. Because they slowly start taking the little towns and now they're just, going for the bigger cities. Because, no one is stopping them. Like Ribhadar says to his lord, great king, king of all countries, the king of battle, may the lady Gubla grant power to the king, my lord. I fall at the feet of my lord, right? Moreover, may the king give thought to Sumer. Look at Sumer like a bird in a trap. Kilubi cage. So is Sumer. The sons of Abdi Asrata by land, the people of Ar Wada by sea. Where are the people of Ar Wada? Okay, they must be from very far. But are against it day and night. Ships to Yan Hamu, both ships of people of Arwada, were there to intercept them, and out they came. Consider the case of the people of Arwada. When the archers came out, all the property of Abdi Asirti in their possession was not taken away, and their ships by agreement left Egypt. Accordingly, they are not afraid. Now they have taken Ulasa, and they strive to take Suma. Everything belonging to Abdi Asriti they gave to the sons, and so now they are strong. They have taken the army ships together with everything belonging to them. I am unable to go to the aid of Suma. Yapahada is at war with me because of my property in his possession. Let us put the case before Aman and Damu Bihaya and before Yanhamu, for they are the ones that know what is my due concerning. Okay. Because my property is in his. Okay. He has waged war against me, that we may put the case before him. May any property of mine in his possession be taken for the king, and let the faithful servant live for the king. The Egyptians that got out of Ulasa are now with me, but there is no grain for them to eat. Oh. Yapahada does not let my ships in Yaramuta, and I cannot send them to Sumer because of the ships of Arwada. Look, he says, Ribhada took it, and so he is against me. So these people were blocking the ships from coming in and providing food. Sumer holding out. Ribhada says to his lord, great king. Okay. Why does Ribhada keep sending a tablet this way to the palace? He's more distraught than his brothers about Sumer. Look, in my case, there has been a war against me for 5 years. Accordingly, I keep writing to my lord, look, I am not like Yapahada, and I'm not like Zimrada. All brothers have deserted me. There is war against Sumar, and now its commissioner is dead. Indeed, I myself am now in distress. I was in Sumer, and all its people fled. May my lord send a commissioner and troops with him with all the speed that he may guard it. I myself cannot get out. Let him move in between the two of them that are against it. How can the king say, why does Ribhada keep sending me a tablet to his lord? Because of the evil that was done before, especially so nothing like this will be done to me now. Moreover, may it seem right in the sight of my lord, and may he send Yanuhamu as its commissioner, Yanuhamu the parasol bearer, to the king, my lord. I have heard it reported that he is a wise man and that everyone loves him. Moreover, may it seem right to my lord. May he send 20 pairs of first-class horses to his servant. There are many men on my side so that I can match against the enemies of the king, my lord. Moreover, for all my cities that I have reported to the king, my lord, as my lord is my witness, they have not returned. The day the troops of my lord's expeditionary force left, all became enemies. So like they turned on him. Charioteers, but no horses. Ribhada says to his lord, king of all countries, great king, king of battle. Right. Yeah, very interesting. I think it's just like a really good account of what's happening, and he gets more and more desperate. And this is direct evidence of a big battle that took place in the Middle East, and how they slowly lost it, to the invaders. Ribhada to his lord, right? Whenever the king of Mitanna was at war with your ancestors do not desert my ancestors. Now the sons of Abdi Asriti, the servant and dog, has taken the cities of the king and the cities of his mayor, just as they please. They are the ones that took Ardata for themselves, and you did nothing about their actions when you heard of them, and so they have taken Ulasa. For my part, I keep saying, if the king gives heed for a day, in that day the king will take them. Accordingly, I am firm in my resolve. They have taken the treasures of your mayors, they have taken the charioteers, your chariots, the soldiers, but you have done nothing. Accordingly, they are firm in their resolve, and they intend crime upon crime. Being at war with me, they seized 12 men of mine. They bound them, and they are in prison. The ransom price between us they have set as 50 shekels of silver. They go about, they're the ones who have kidnapped, and Yahamna knows the king, a man. They put him in a tunu, and they sold a soldier into captivity in Sabaru for their food. Look, I'm a loyal servant of the king, and the king has no servant like me. Previously, on seeing a man from Egypt, the kings of Canaan fled before him. But now the sons of Abdi Asrata, make men from Egypt prowl about like dogs. Death would be sweet to me. Let them not be arrogant towards my Lord and towards life. As all our gods and the Lady Gubla live, he is a man that intends evils for his Lord. Moreover, I'm unable to get this man of yours into Sumer. All my towns are at war with me, on the sides of the son of Abdi Asrata. Accordingly, they are strong. The mayors are not just to me. When Haya and Aman Napa departed from Sumer, along with the copper and his, they said that I was your loyal servant. So basically, Egypt was like the top dog in those days. Like the top country was Egypt. Like they were the powerful one. So the Middle East would shake like when Egypt landed, like when an Egyptian lands in Sumer and those regions, like people will shake, and because those people were related, like Egypt had the upper hand in the Middle East, and which is why they saw the people of the Middle East as their relatives then, because they're more or less the same people. So clearly now invaders were coming in, and Egypt is not gonna. He's basically telling me, if you don't come and get back, help us, then these people will come all the way to Egypt and take over your land. So that's what he was saying. You know, you're empowering them, like by not doing anything, they're gonna carry on. And then the army ships. No ship of the army to leave Canaan. Why does he not give me some? So Canaan was Israel, Canaanite land. Why does he not give me some of the royal property that the ships of the army transport? And then the mayors. Oh, sorry, it's a bit late. And then it basically goes on about army activities. This year, there are no archers, then all lands will be joined to the Apiro. Look, members of the army have entered Akkadian order to transport. So it's a very, very interesting account, a very interesting book, and a very desperate time for a desperate situation.